Afternoon everyone, welcome back to the channel. So this is going to be the big review of the Squier Affinity Series Telecaster. Lake Placid Blue, sorry about the reflection, with the Indian Laurel fingerboard. Now, before I start, haven't really had a lot of luck with Telecasters over the years. The first one I had in my hands, it wasn't my guitar, loaned it off a friend. That was a 70s American Telecaster, the real McCoy. Yeah, that just felt weird. The action was super low. The neck felt really narrow. It just felt really alien to me, after playing sort of Les Pauls. It didn't feel like a very comfortable ride. The tones coming out of it, the classic Tele tones that, at the time I just thought it was tinny. What did I know at the time? This was right at the start of my sort of playing life, really. So I kind of gave up with Telecasters quite early, right? The next time that one came into my hands was about 10 or 15 years later. The classic Vibe series, so that was a kind of, the natural finish maple board, sort of vintage style spec, and that was a nice guitar, but I just couldn't get the action down. Maybe at the time I didn't know enough about guitar setups and stuff to be able to sort it out, but it just wasn't that nice of a playing instrument, and to be honest, it didn't really have much grunt for me either, which I was expecting. So the third Telecaster I got was, a bit of a surprise. That was a Squier Tele Custom 2. So it was this kind of the custom layout with the 2 volumes, 2 tones, but with 2 P90s. And I used that as my sort of gigging guitar for a few years and never missed a beat. The bridge pickup was tremendous. The neck, maple neck, 22 frets. It played amazing. It was all you needed really with a gigging guitar. The neck pickup wasn't that great. If you want to check out the blog, I'll put a link in the description. I've done a full review on it, but that went by the wayside as well. And then I've come to this, which was a bit of a nice surprise, really. So I don't need any more new guitars, but I saw this just browsing one night, and it came up £118, right, for a Squier Affinity Series Telecaster. And I thought that can't be right. There must be a price error or something. So I kind of felt like I had to get it, and I was expecting issues with the guitar. So, but I thought I'd buy it anyway. Maybe I could sell it on, for more than what I paid. But anyway, that's why this guitar has came into my hands. My fourth Telecaster, and I guess it's more of a modern style instrument. It's a traditional Tele layout, which I've always quite liked. So let's just kind of, before I start waffling too much about my Tele history, because I've finished now, I just want to just tell you about the guitar, the Telecaster, and why we want to go for something like this. So this is kind of, it's got some advantages of a Strat, and this precedes the Strat. The Telecaster is the first production line electric guitar ever made, 1951, by the way. Yeah, so it's got the straight string pull of the Strat, right? But it's got it's got the kind of the fixed bridge and the string through the body. So you've got the advantage of straight string pull that like something like a Les Paul hasn't got, but you've also got the advantage of you haven't got a floating bridge, you've got a fixed bridge. So really logically, this should be the most stable guitar that you can get, really, because you've got the stability of the fixed bridge like a Les Paul, but you haven't got the sort of the splayed 3-a-side, string setup like a Les Paul's got. So straight string pull, nothing to go out of tune really, anchored to the body at the back. So yeah, also just talking in general about Telecasters, they are famed for their bridge pickup. The power is greater than you would get on the Strat. Not as much as a Les Paul humbucker, of course, but they're famed for the kind of, the pickup is different. It's not like a Strat where you've just got 3 single coils. This pickup is different to the lipstick style neck pickup. Yeah, so a lot more output. Plus you've got the different configuration. It's kind of part of the bridge, you know. So yeah, it's famed for the bridge pickup. Control layout, you know, very simple. It doesn't get much simpler than this really, unless you've got a Squier, which has just got the one pickup. But it's literally three-way switch, master volume, master tone, right? Like I said before, straight string pull, bolt on neck. These are just standard Tele features, right? More or less, more often than not, a maple neck. What else can I tell you about the Tele? Yeah, I mean, traditionally 21 frets. The more modern models like the USA's, the Player Strats, they come with 22. Right, so that's enough waffling about that. Let's get to the features of this particular guitar, right? And bear in mind, throughout the video, this is going to be quite a biased video, I'm afraid, you know, because these are just over £200 retail. But just remember, I got this for £118, including delivery, right? Incredible. So, you know, I'm gonna give this guitar, I'm going to give it a pass on just about everything, but I'm going to try to be critical as much as I can. So the features of this guitar, this particular guitar. So starting at the headstock. So first of all, which is a nice surprise, we've got the split shaft tuners, which are kind of my favourite tuners. You know, like the Clouson style, which have got the 6 in a line with the 2 screws, but these have got the modern enclosures, which I like, which I prefer. So, you know, no screws on the back, but with still the split shaft, which these are great because the way you install them is you cut the string beforehand and then you stick the string end directly into the hole. So you've got nothing sort of dangling outside, no like, you know, bits of strings to catch your fingertips on, nasty. And then you wrap it round, but it's also a locking mechanism as well. So these are I think these are the most stable tuners out there, really. You know, I mean, the action isn't as nice as something like a Grover Automatic on my Les Paul, but the stability that these offer are the best. It's got its own built-in locking mechanism, you know, without it being a locking tuner, which I don't like. I think they're too heavy and it's just something else to catch and go wrong. So there you go, the tuner's great. Now second is, it's got the traditional sort of butterfly string tree, but there's only one of them. Now, this is, I don't know if you'll be able to hear this, right, but I've cured the problem. It's an easily curable problem, right, but without 2 string trees on a Tele, or, you know, something with no staggered machine heads, the G string will get what's called sympathetic resonance. So you play a note and then it'll ring out behind the headstock, right? Sorry, behind the nut. The quick fix is you just wrap a little bit of thread around it, which is what I've done, and that kills it straight away. So this is a kind of not a fault of the guitar. This is a fault on all guitars which use one string tree and they haven't got enough break angle behind the nut. You know, so you can either, people say you use more string wraps. I don't think that works. Or you use like a staggered machine heads. I don't think you need to do that. I think it's a minor problem, not a problem on this particular guitar, and easily solved with a bit of thread. So let's not talk about that anymore. Right, so moving up to the nut. Now, this has been a problem that's, you know, plagued many a Fender guitar, including, you know, my Strat, right? You know, incorrectly cut nuts, right? And this is perfect, right? So if I just, you know, you fret on the 3rd string and you see how much gap we've got, you know, on the 1st fret. This is just about perfect. Maybe a tiny bit lower it could have gone, but it's not going to complain about it. The nuts cut great, and the proof is in. You know, you start giving it the 2 semitone bends. The 2-tone bend. You know, that's the test of the nut. You know, you start bending stuff. You know, you haven't got the tremolo arm on this, but you know, you start doing big bends, strings start going out of tune. It's probably the nut or how well the nut's been cut. But this looks perfect. This is just a plastic nut. You know, it's not like a bone nut like you would get on this like the CV, the Classic 5 series. But it looks great. It looks cut. It's been cut great. Now, minor problem, right? And I'm digging for problems on this guitar because there really aren't many at all, really. So there's a tiny little mark that you can barely see, and I can't see it without my glasses on. But I just noticed it the other day. It's just like a little file mark. So somebody's they've obviously done some work on the nut, yeah, and they've filed the slots correctly, but they've just went a little bit too far and just cut a little groove in the laurel just behind, barely noticeable. And I'll give them the pass because at least they've done the work on the nut. At least they've cut the nut slots, and it's been cut nicely. But I'm going to point out everything because honestly, there's no bad things about this guitar. I might as well point what's there out there. Right, so moving down, the fretboard, Indian laurel, like I said. I mean, it's pretty dark. You know, I've seen lighter versions of this. It's nice. You know, yes, it could do with a bit of leather oil on it, which I haven't applied yet. That's easy. You know, so a little bit dry. No complaints at all. Right, great fretboard. Nice neck. The frets, well, the proof is in the pudding again. So I've lowered the action, 3/64 at the 12th fret of the high E, 4/64 at the 12th fret of the low E, right? You can't ask for any more than that. You know, that's great. That's lower than my Strat probably. It's probably on a par, even a little bit lower than the Les Paul. Everything running out, you know, ringing out as you would expect. It's great. It's just, this guitar is sorted, right? It is sorted. Now, moving on to the neck, let's just have a look at that. Now, this is sort of, it doesn't feel like there's much of a finish on it at all, to be honest. It's satin, you know, so it's nice and smooth. But there's even less of a finish on this than there is on, you know, the satin, you know, Player Series guitars, the Mexican ones. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it feels cheap. It just feels like a nice bit of wood in your hands. It just feels a little bit strange, maybe to me, because I'm used to feeling some sort of a lacquer on there. You know, even if it is satin lacquer. Just on the back of the headstock there, you know, there's a nice bit of figurine in the neck as well. I don't know if you can spot that. Just, you know, there's a nice bit of figurine at that neck, maple neck. So on the back, this is a made in China guitar, 2024 serial number, all good. I don't know why it's not Indonesia. I don't know if they sort of flip between China and where have you, don't know. What I also like about it is they've got like the plastic coverings on the back of the machine heads to protect them, and I'll take that off later, but I like that. First time I've seen that on a new guitar. Yeah, so like I say, the frets, they seem really even and sorted. What I will say is, they could probably do with a little bit of a polish, right? But that's nothing, right? I don't like to use steel wool these days because the bits get all over and they get in the pickups. I don't like that, it's too messy. But I'm going to go at it with the sort of the micro mesh cloth just to polish them up a little bit, but it's no problem. It's not scratchy. I think it's just more of an appearance thing. I would just like them to look more shiny, so I'm going to shine them up a bit and put some lemon oil on the board to make it look even better. But I just thought I'd show you what it looks like before I do that in this review, you know, just so you know. So, you know, bolt on neck, like I say, 21 frets. You know, lipstick type neck pickup, and then you've got your traditional, not traditional Tele bridge pickup. These are ceramic pickups, so higher output. You know, cheaper. You know, that's why this guitar is cheaper than, you know, something like one with on-the-go pickups in like the Player Strats or the Player Tele. Sorry. Now, what I do like as well about this bridge is it's got the 6 saddles as opposed to the 3. Now I know that this isn't a traditional Tele. This is a modern Tele, right? These are my sort of preferred saddles, the block saddles, and these are nice. These are nicely sort of chromed, solid looking saddles that are easy to intonate and easy to set up. These are my favourite saddles, great. It hasn't got the sort of the ashtray type bridge. This is sort of like got the sort of lip on the back, but there's no lip on the sides, which I think again is a bit of an improvement because it's just something else to catch on. You know, the height adjustment screws are not sticking up loads either, which is a good thing because you don't want those catching on the palm of your hand and cutting yourself up. Yeah, I mean, just the electrics. A lot of people have sort of complained about the electrics. I guess I'm not going to open up the guitar, but these are the smaller type pots on these. The metal control knobs. The action on these feels fine. You know, they're not too stiff. That sounds great. I think this is the PCB style switch as opposed to the properly mechanical one, but again, that feels absolutely fine. I don't see what's to complain about there. Traditional scratch plate. What else? So going over the back, we've got a belly cut, which is great. Which is like a modern feature, which I love. You know, it makes the guitar lighter, right? Talking about weight, this is 3.1 kilograms, extremely light, right? I guess just over 6 pounds. Poplar body, that might be one of the reasons. I'm not sure if Poplar's lighter than all that, but anyway, it's a very light guitar. Another reason for the lightness is the width of this guitar is 38 millimeters, so that I think that compares with, I think it's 44.5 on a normal sort of, you know, like a USA telly or whatever. I think even the CV tellies are the same as that. So this is a little bit thinner by only 6.5 millimeters, right? But that's going to impact the weight of the guitar as well. It's going to make it lighter and it's going to make it more comfortable. I like the lightness, right? I'm not missing that 5 millimeters, 6.5 millimeters. It's not really an issue, right? So yeah. Lastly, but I think quite a biggie for me is they've gotten rid of that horrible bucket sort of type output jack that just falls out and they've got a clip on it and they're just horrible, and they've put on a proper sort of Les Paul style output jack and fascia, which I much prefer. Now on my last telly that I used to gig with that I loved, you know, I did have a problem with that and I did replace it with one of these types, so it's just nice to see that that's been included, you know, from the get-go. And like I say, string through body, that's going to help with the sustain. Anything else? No, it's just a really nice looking modern light Telecaster, right? The colour, Lake Placid blue, right? Beautiful. Has got a bit of a sort of sparkle to it if you look at it really close in certain lights. So I think it's a really nice finish for the guitar. You know, blue. I mean, blue isn't my favourite colour, to be honest, but I think it gets it just right with this Lake Placid blue, classic colour as well for a telly, right? So yeah, that's it. Just about covers it for the features. I'm going to drop a couple of affiliate links. You know, if you're interested in this guitar, you can buy it from Guitar Center if you live in the US, or Europe. It's going to be a link to the Tommen website, so I'll put a link in the description. Check it out. Okay, so let's move on, right? Build quality, right, of this guitar. This £118 guitar, right? Or if you want to buy it normally, about £200, right? What can I say? There's nothing to go wrong on a Telecaster in the first place, right? The sort of pain contacts on the guitar normally are the nut, right? That's exemplary, right? No problems with that at all, right? Maybe the tuners, right? I love these tuners, right? The split shafts, it just doesn't go out of tune, right? The saddles as well, absolutely rock solid, block saddles, everything just feels solid, metal. I am looking for issues. I can't find them. I really can't find them. Maybe just if you look very, very closely, at the sort of neck joint, the lacquer is a little bit, and you have to zone right in a little bit of a bobble on there. I can't believe I'm mentioning this because you can barely see it, right? But I'm really clutching. There's hardly anything. It's clean. It's as clean as a whistle, this guitar, right? Build quality wise. Am I going to say that's slightly misaligned? That might be slightly misaligned, that jack there. Slightly by, I don't know, a millimetre, a hair's breadth out. Who cares? Who cares though, right? Right? Might be, might not be. Everything is screwed in. This, you know, the control, you know, a lot of people have complained about this, right? This feels solid, right? This does not feel cheap, right? I haven't got it out, but it doesn't feel cheap. What else? What else? Issues. Neck fine, no fret issues, perfect. People have complained about the finishing on the back of this neck. I think it's fine. It's just very sort of thin. I don't know what's going to happen if I start getting dirt on the palm of my hand and it sort of gets ingrained in there. I don't know what that's going to end up looking like, but that's another story. You know, some people have complained about these being out of alignment. They look absolutely perfect. Can't find anything with this, you know, the pickups or anything. It's perfect, isn't it? I can't believe it. It is. It's a Telecaster and it's been set up great. Oh. Yeah, this is a slightly biased review of this, I'm sorry, I'm trying my best. So yeah, that's the build quality. Can't fault it really. It's a Telly. I know it's the simplest there is, but they've just gone that extra mile to make sure there's no little issues. You know, even you talk about there's no sharp fret ends. Look at that. Look at that. Out. You know, the edges aren't poking out. You know, I mean, it's not rolled, but is there anything else I need to cry about here? Nothing. I'm just wasting your time. There's no issues with this guitar. Unbelievable, isn't it? 3.1 pounds. Sorry, 3.1 kilograms. Anyway, before I go any further, right, I appreciate it if you could just click on that subscribe button and subscribe to the channel, right? Because I'm getting towards 1,000 subscribers. That's my goal, right? So I greatly appreciate it if you could just click on that button, subscribe, you know, drop us a like in the video, drop us a comment, you know, helps the algorithm, helps me, and I really appreciate it. Cheers. Right, what's next? Playability. Right, yes. So, I guess I would have preferred 22 frets, right? But then again, my Les Paul's got 22 frets if I wanted to sort of, you know, get up there. Bends. Nice string tension. Action. Way down low, but no compromise at all when I'm going up high there. Everything's ringing out nice and clean, no dead spots, no high frets. Like a massive thing for me is the belly contour, right? Because, you know, gigging a Telly, you know, which didn't have the belly contour. I know it hasn't got the arm contour, so it did kind of dig into my arm a bit as well, but it was digging into my ribs too. So I think this is a great gigging guitar, you know, especially with the weight. You know, nothing to go wrong on it, no tuning issues, simple. Belly contour, light. You know, great, stable, lock-in, well, or the lock-in tuners, I think they are. I think the function is a lock-in tuner, really. There's a lock-in kind of mechanism in there with its own string. But yeah, stable tuning, no issues there. What more do you want? What more do you want? String changes, bang, bang, done. Easy switching, you know, volume right there. You know, some people go on about the Telecaster, you know, volume control for violin, right? You know, not as close to your pinky as a Strat, but that's quite close. Come on. get to that. Yeah, no playability issues. You know, it has got this sort of the longer scale length. I think it's a 25.5 versus the 24.75 of a Gibson, but it doesn't feel to me to be that tighter. Feels quite slinky. These are the guitar comes with 9s. I haven't restrung it. I don't know if it's the best strings in the world, but I've been just sitting about noodling with this, you know, which is kind of something that I do with the Strat mainly, because you know that is so comfortable. You can just sit there and, you know, to your heart's content. But I've started to do that with this guitar because of the belly contour on it, its weight, you know. So yeah, playability wise, it's brilliant as well, you know. Brilliant looks, brilliant build quality, brilliant playability. £118, can't believe it. Right, so that's the playability. So anyway, so now let's have some fun, right? Let's get this plugged in, right? So I've got, I don't know if you can see, yeah, you can see that. I've got my Marshall DSL1 valve amp. Some people say it's not a valve amp, but whatever. It's got valves in it. Clean and overdriven channels. Right, let's go clean first. Let's start with the neck. And what I have done is I've raised the neck pickup a little bit because I thought it was a little bit quiet compared to the bridge. So there was still room to sort of raise it a little bit just to get them two volumes more equal. Right, so anyway, what we've got here, right? No reverb. Let's get a bit of reverb going on there. Just flat EQ, clean channel, classic gain, and the Marshall. Bit more volume. So nice and full sounding, right? Middle. And you know, that's, you know, the classic Teddy middle position, very sort of pingy sounding. It's different to the middle positions of a Strat, for example. There's more, when I say there's, I'd say it was less transparent sounding, but there's more of a sort of a quack to it, if that makes any sense. Just back off the volume a little bit, and then that's your, you know, and that's been used in funk and stuff, you know, on millions of records over the years. You know, Teddies can do funk. Teddies can do anything, you know, from clean, country, funk, indie, rock. People have done metal on a Teddy, you know. Some people say this is the most versatile guitar ever made, right? And I think, you know, the versatility comes in its simplicity. You know, it's not like a Strat that sort of gives you loads of options and it's got the trem. This kind of limits your options a bit more, a lot more, right? But it's kind of still got those sounds in there. So that's the middle. It does pop out a lot more than the middle position on a Strat. That kind of sits back in the mix a bit. So just to demonstrate, here's the neck again. So very subdued and mellow to the middle, which I'm expecting to be lower output. It kind of pops out that little bit more because, you know, it's got the mix of the bridge pickup. So we'll switch to the bridge. And as you would expect from any good Teddy, right? Now it's starting to overdrive the amp because that has got so much bark to it, right? It just dominates everything, and that's what you want from a Teddy, right? It's not like a Strat. The bridge, the bridge pickup on the Strats, it's some people don't like that. They think it's too ice picky, but this is all grunt, right? This is getting into, Les Paul territory, right? This is, in some ways, this is closer to a Les Paul than it is to a Strat, right? Because you've got the fixed bridge, it's more stable, you know, you've got less switching options, you've got 2 pickups, you've got more power. And I'm not a country player, you know, but if I was, I'd be doing all the chicken picking and all that carry on now, right? And it is capable of doing that. And just playing with the tone control, playing with the volume control, right? No nasty surprises, right? Nice graduation. Great. Neck. Let's start again. You know what I will say is, right, I was expecting the neck pickup to have a little bit more treble content to it, right? It is, yeah, it is bassy, it is thick sounding. It's not a criticism though, I'm not used to tellies really that much anyway. But, you know, what I will say though is, you know, with cheap guitars and cheap electrics, you would expect some noise to be happening there as you roll on the volume or whatever, and you would expect it to be, you know, very jerky, like either on or off. But this is so, the taper is so smooth. And let's see what happens with the tone, right? So starting on full tone, same again, nice and gradual. Now the disadvantage of a telly, of course, is, you know, compared to something like a Les Paul, is because you've already got the master volume and the master tone, right? You can't just kind of flick between 2 completely different sounds. You know, you've set your volume and you've set your tone. You can flick between the pickups, but you can't, you know, it's a shared volume and shared tone, right? But I kind of like that because it just means, you know, if you're in the neck position, right, and then you just got a little bit of volume going on. If you want to go to the middle, you know, it's the same volume. And you don't have to adjust. I like that. Nice and simple. What did I say about the tuning? Honestly, the tuning's fine. Right, okay, I'm just going to dial in a bit of dirt here, right? So this is the upper gain channel. Right, and let's start on the neck again. Bit more gain, I think. Yeah, so that's the way the playability is coming in, and that's where you can tell that it's a good fret job on this guitar. You can get up high and the notes are just ringing out. So yeah, very, very full sounding, right? But I can't criticise this guitar, right? I can't criticise it, but what I will say is, you know, I'm expecting a little bit more treble content from the bass pickup, from the rhythm pickup. Just dial in a little bit in the amp, I guess. But it's a great sounding pickup, right? Go in the middle. Cleans up a bit, which is what you're expecting. There's a bit more push through. But you can still hear that pinging quality, you know, that classic telly middle position. A very wiry sound. I'm just going to go back to the neck and just roll the tone off a little bit. So I'm trying to do that thing that you can do on a Strat and a Les Paul, you know, when you roll it off. Yeah, you can get that, yeah. But I think with the telly, you know, you've always got that little bit of underlying clout and clarity behind the notes. Wowzers. Back in the middle, right? Let's roll off the tone. I am expecting that, you know, that humbucker type honk here. Let's get some more reverb on there. Here we go, bridge. And there's that spike, you know, that you expect in the bridge, but it is sort of, I don't know, maybe it's the ceramic pickups, but this is a lot more full sounding than I was expecting, right? This just, to me, sounds like, not like a rock guitar, like a Les Paul, like a generic rock guitar now. Back in the tone off. So, what I have heard is, right, that this pickup was a little bit microphonic, right, depending on how much gain you apply. So that's max gain. Much there. I mean, yeah, you can kind of tell it is sort of acting like a microphone, which is, yeah, that's what microphonic is, but it's not really causing an issue, to be honest. Maybe it will, you know, stage volume perhaps, maybe it will, maybe it won't. But like I say, don't forget, this is £200 or 118, like what I paid for it, right? Massive sounding guitar. And let's go for that big bend then. No problem. Oh! But if that doesn't put it out of tune, nothing will. Nothing will. 5 semitone bends, no problem on this guitar. I'll tell you what, right? Let's just back off the gain a bit. Let's go back to clean channel. A little bit out of tune, but that's the high E, not the bend string. It's fine. Tell you what, let's not do that. Let's just go for the overdrive channel, but with hardly any gain. I'm starting to waffle a bit now on that. Right, yeah, so what I'm trying to say is, right, this is a fantastic guitar, right, especially for the money, right. Now, I haven't had that much luck with guitars really, you know, getting up towards that £500 mark, £600 mark, you know, terrible nuts, bad fretwork, and then this comes along, right, for peanuts, and listen to it and look at it and feeling the you know, the care and the love that's gone into it. You know, I love this guitar, right? I'm not gonna sell it for more than what I paid for it. It's light, it looks beautiful, it's got, you know, the stripped back features. I love, you know, having that master volume and master tone and nothing to go wrong, and just the 2 pickups, and it's been set up great, a lovely low action. I love the tuners, I love the feel of the neck, I love the belly contour, I love the saddles, and the straight string pulled through there. The switch is great, I feel solid. Why do you want to replace that? Yeah, I mean, like I say, you know, the neck pickup, nobody raves about Tele neck pickups, you know, I can kind of see why, because that's the star of the show, right? The middle is like a nice sort of like poppy, yeah, it does pop out a lot, that, right? It's good for rhythm, it's good for funk and stuff like that. And then I'm expecting this kind of like a Strat that sounds huge, this, you know, the Strat neck pickup. It's not like that. It's just more subdued, right? It's just more subdued, that's all it is, right? You're going from the maximum output to sort of you're going from this to this. Softer. It's a softer sounding pickup, right? And that's why a lot of people switch these off for humbuckers. You know, I think what I want to be doing ultimately with this guitar, maybe, you know, a set of Texas specials. You know, I don't want to sort of be messing about with the look of this guitar, but yeah. But like I say, I am starting to waffle, but nobody ever talks about the Tele neck pickup really. You know, it's there, it fulfills, you know, a function of just giving you that softer, less trebly, less powerful, you know, thing. But it's not like going from the bridge pickup to a neck pickup of Les Paul to do like Sweet Child of Mine. You know, it's just not gonna work, is it? But yeah, yeah, it's great. Thanks for watching, thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos with this guitar, I think, you know, comparing it to various things. I've kind of just fallen in love with it, I guess. You know, and that's not just because I got it for so cheap. I'll say it again, £118, including delivery, including a month's free Fender play, including a nice little book. I mean, go to the back shop, that's where I got it from, right? Go there, brilliant. You know, they've been sending me emails with like guitar lessons and stuff. I feel slightly guilty actually, but anyway, not my mistake, there's. Yeah, it's been great. Little booklet that I provided for free as well. You know, this is, do you know what this is? This is the perfect beginner's guitar. That's what this is, right? No issues, light, you've got all the stuff that comes with it, simple, nothing to go wrong, stable tuning. That's what this is. But also for somebody like me, you know, that just likes guitars, you know, I can appreciate the Telecaster in all its glory. You know, this is a Telecaster, right? I don't care that it hasn't got Fender on the headstock. You know, look at the state of those new Fender Standard Series guitars. That is basically this with Fender on the headstock. That's all it is. I've played one, right? It's really not that different. It's modern, you know. That's also modern, like with the blocks and stuff like that. But the Fender Standard Series hasn't got these nice split shaft tuners. I'm starting to rant on a bit about the Fender Standard Series, and I am waffling. I am going to close off this video. So just get one, check the link, check the affiliate links, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.